Tanisha, coming at you again with another video. Anyway, I'm coming to you to talk about episode 3 of the season 1, the first season of Sorority Sisters. I've been kind of following the show. I saw the first episode and now I've seen the 3rd episode. I missed the 2nd one, but I'm just gonna review it. Like, I mean, I'm kind of indifferent towards this show. Like, I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it because it kind of shows me pretty much everything else that reality TV shows me about African American females. So anyway, we opened up this episode and Lydia, yeah, I think it's Lydia and Priyanka are in the shoe lounge shopping for shoes. And Priyanka picks up a boot or whatever, and you know, she's like, oh, this is nice. And she asks the young lady who works there to go help her and see if they have that size in the back. So, you know, she's like, I bet they don't have it because they never have shoes in my size. And she talks about her new business endeavor called Priyanka's Palace, which is basically a shoe line for size 9 and up. You know, she's basically talking about for the plus size foot woman that this would be a good opportunity for her to create a business that's geared towards those young ladies. So, you know, they move from there and start talking about this party that they're going to have soon. It's called the Come On I Wanna Lay Ya party. I guess some Greek party that's supposed to take place soon thereafter. So her and Lydia were talking about it and how they want to go. And, you know, Priyanka's like, yeah, she needs to get her a boo thing to go with her and all this other stuff. So, you know, they move on from there. The next scene is Kat at Derek Blanks' studio. Derek Blanks is a high-profile photographer here in Atlanta. And Kat, I guess, has been his assistant. So she's discussing with another individual there in the studio how she needs to branch out. You know, how she's always been working in photography and how it's probably time for her to get her own photography studio. But she just hasn't gotten up enough courage to tell Derek Blanks about it. So, you know, so that's basically her lot in life at this point in time, and she's trying to get enough courage to tell Derek, who has been really good to her and helped her out a lot, how that now, you know, she kind of wants to go and do her own thing. Which, you know, in business, that's okay. That happens. Like, if you don't grow, then there's a problem. You need to grow as a business owner or as a professional. You should grow. That just makes sense. So we move from there to the Boogaloo Lounge here in Atlanta, and Adrene and April have agreed to sit down and I guess bury the hatchet. April is already there. Adrene walks in, and it starts off very cordial. You know, April is sitting down, Adrene walks in, and April's like, you look very cute, Adrene. And Adrene's like, I look cute always. From there it went downhill. I mean, April started talking about Adrene. Adrene is like, you've been discussing me in the blogs. April's like, I didn't say anything about you in particular. And Adrene was like, yeah, but you inferred about me. April is like, you know what, do you need a drink so you can calm down because you're on 10? And Adrene is like, yeah, you know, you never know who you're gonna get when dealing with me. And April is like, yeah, that's because you're bipolar. She's like, I'm licensed to diagnose you. You're bipolar. Then she calls her a liar. Then she calls her Satan and that the truth is not in you. This is always what April is saying to Adrene. She calls Adrene a $2 hooker. Then she comes back and tries to get spiritual on her, and it's like, you're a part of the lost generation that they're talking about in the New Testament. She calls her a drag queen, and then to add insult to injury, before April leaves, she walks up to Adrene and is like, in her face. I'm like, April went from 0 to 60 real quick. But anyway, we move from that scene to St. Marlowe Country Club, and that's where Adrene is getting golf lessons from her golf instructor. And you know, she's like, every time she hits a ball, she's picturing April's face, so she's whacking the balls. So anyway, Shayna and Mitoya show up to the country club, and they're there talking to Adrene about the situation that happened between Adrene and April. So Mitoya is like, you know, Adrene, were you 100% innocent? You didn't do anything to set her off? And Adrene's like, no, I didn't do anything. I mean, you know, I popped off at the end after she had continued to insult me, but initially I didn't. So, you know, after that, they retreat to the country club to get some lemonade or something like that. So we pan out of there and we go over to the store Brides by Demetrius, who has some awesome wedding gowns. I was a part of a Black Bridal Expo and I've seen some of his creations. They're awesome. Anyway, so Veronica is there, and with her big sister Grace, Veronica's there trying to get her bridal gowns for her wedding. No, her bridesmaids gowns for her wedding. And she's talking to Grace and talking about how Jesse is driving her crazy because he's very nonchalant about the wedding. She's talking about the issues she's having with Jesse because she's thinking about taking a job when she moves to Texas in San Antonio, which is a 45-minute commute away from where her and Jesse would be living. So, you know, ultimately she picks this really cute blue dress for her bridesmaids. And then her and her sister Grace start talking about Priyanka and how the last time Veronica and Priyanka met at the audition in in episode 2, how Priyanka was like, you know, how are you funding yourself? You know, you must have a sponsor. Your man must be taking care of you. You know, and basically Veronica's like, she didn't appreciate Priyanka saying that to her. So at the party, Veronica's like, yeah, I'm going to say something to her. Like, you know, I'm not about snatching out weave, but, you know, she's trifling. Says this about Priyanka. So we pan out of there and we go over to the House of Adrene boutique. Priyanka comes there to speak to Adrene about a business opportunity, about her vision as far as the plus size shoe line, the 9 and up shoe size line. So, you know, Priyanka goes in, you know, she comes in and she's like, you know, Adrene, I want to talk to you about business. Adrene is basically like, okay, you know, she sits and listens to her. And then she's like, well, you know, I really don't sit and chat with the independent designers. So Priyanka's like, what? So Adrene is like, you don't have a business plan. You don't have a marketing plan. So basically you're wasting my time. So Priyanka's like, I come to you as a younger soror to talk to an older soror to get, you know, and as a businesswoman to get some insight and to get some, you know, feedback as far as my idea for business. But you basically just throw shade at me. So, you know, Adrene comes and gives her a business card like, look, make an appointment with my store manager. And Priyanka's like, I have to make an appointment to talk with my elder soror. Adrene's like, yes, there's levels to this. There's, what she say, there's stages to this as far as creating a business and things of this nature. She was really doing just too much, just really doing too much. So Priyanka leaves basically with her tail between her legs because Adrene has basically shot her down as far as helping her out. So now the next scene, we go over to April's apartment, and April is there fitting one of her clients. And April's basically like, if it doesn't have anything to do with my business, my career, or my doctoral studies, I don't care about it. I'm not interested in it. So Kat and I forget the other young lady, the other AKA, come to April's house, you know, and they stop by to discuss the Come On I Wanna Lay Ya party, which is the Greek party that is coming up. So April's like, I'm not going, you know, if it doesn't have anything to do with work, I'm not really interested. So they start talking about the meeting that April had with Adrene. So April starts talking about how, you know, she said, you look cute today. And, you know, April kind of exaggerates and is like, Adrene was like, I look cute every day. And how her voice morphed and she started sounding like, this is what April was saying, she started sounding like Satan and Lucifera, calling her Lucifera and all this other stuff. And, you know, April was like, in the word of God, it says that you cannot be hot or cold, you know, be hot or cold, not lukewarm. I mean, she just really starts talking about, I don't know. I'm wondering, what is she studying? Is she studying theology for her doctoral studies? I don't know. But anyway, April, you know, talks with Kat, and Kat is basically soliciting her as a client. Like, if you need to set up a photo shoot for your new pieces that come into your boutique, I can do it. I can make it happen. Makeup artist, whatever, I can make it happen. So Kat's basically about her business now. She's getting ready to step out into her own photography studio. So she's soliciting clients, you know, even starting with the girls who she already knows, which is a good job. Good look for Kat. Big up to Kat. Kat by her business, for real. So we pan out of there and we go to the cake tasting. Veronica and Jesse are there for the cake tasting for their wedding. You know, Veronica's thinking about cupcakes because they're small and petite and she likes those. So the chef basically leaves them there to sit and discuss the cakes and, you know, decide what they like. So she's basically telling him about the party and how she wants to bring him to the party and, you know, just show him off to her friends because he's attractive. Jesse is very attractive, you know, so she wants to kind of show him off. And she's like, I can't wait to introduce you to everyone, you know. Excuse me. So we leave from there and we go back to Derek Blank Studios. So Kat is assisting again on another shoot, and you know, she basically gets enough courage to tell Derek, you know, I'm ready to step out on my own. I'm ready to get my own business, you know, but I want to let you know and run it by you. And Derek is like, basically like, you know, he's all for it. He's positive. He's like, you know, I'm gonna miss you. You know, you've done so well here. It's good that you've grown. Things of that nature. So basically, you know, she's crying because she feels so sentimental about it, and you know, she was scared about how he would react. But you know, Derek Blanks is a cool guy, so he was just like, look, do your best, go forth and prosper, which I really love about him. That was awesome that he did that, because you recognize when you have people assisting you, they have to go on about their life at some point in time, and that's perfectly fine. So then the last scene, which is the actual come on, I want to lay your party. First of all, the worst thing they could have did was they had this at the Daiquiri Factory. That's where a lot of drinks are going to be. A lot of drinks are going to be flowing. People are going to get in their feelings when they get to drinking. So, you know, people are flirting, drinking, sitting around laughing, having a good time. Perfectly fine. No problems whatsoever, right? So Veronica shows up with Jesse, her boyfriend, her fiance, and you know, remember she had said she's gonna not confront but speak with Priyanka about the stuff that Priyanka had said. So Veronica walks around and introduces Jesse to everyone, and you know, Priyanka's like, oh, surprisingly he's quite attractive. Like, Veronica's not an ugly girl. Why wouldn't you think she would have an attractive guy? Anyway, Priyanka's drinking up everything, spilling daiquiris everywhere, you know, just really, anyway, not a good look. So Veronica basically pulls her over to discuss the conversation and just basically lets Priyanka know, like, I really don't appreciate the stuff that you said. My man is not supporting me. You know, my father died when I was 16. I worked 2 or 3 jobs to work myself through school. You know, basically you saying that to me downplays my work ethic. So Priyanka listened for a little while, and then eventually Priyanka was like, didn't I give you an opportunity to tell me all of this last time? But now that you up in here with your man, now you want to say something. Now you want to jump stupid and act like you gonna do something. I mean, honestly, Priyanka went left real quick. And I think Priyanka felt some kind of way because Priyanka showed up to the party alone. I think she felt some kind of way because Priyanka showed up to the party with no one, and Veronica has a fiance. So I think she felt, you know, I don't know, jealous maybe, felt some kind of way about it. I don't know. But anyway, so Priyanka was like, oh, so your man here? So that's why you trying to jump, you know, jump and say something about the situation? You know, Priyanka's like, don't let your man get you messed up and all this other stuff. I mean, just really like act real just gutter. I mean, she was acting real gutter. So Priyanka had to be dragged away by Lydia. Lydia dragged her away. So Adrien goes over to talk to Veronica to kind of, I guess, comfort her, like, you know, what was all that about? And being nosy, really messy, really, when you boil it down to it, because it was really none of her business. So Adrien discusses, you know, her run-in with Priyanka amongst Veronica and Shayna and some other people. So Priyanka overhears this, and, you know, Priyanka takes this opportunity to confront Adrien also. So she goes over to Adrien and she was like, can we at least go over here and talk where we're alone so I can at least give you that respect? So they go over there to talk, and Priyanka just kind of just goes off. Like, I came to you as a younger soror. You older sorors are supposed to be nurturing. I came to you to get advice. I came to you to get insight, but you basically threw shade at me. But I'm full throttle. I'm real. I'm full throttle. She said I'm full throttle about like 4 or 5 times. Okay, we get it. You are a Honda Civic full throttle. Get it. It turns into an argument so fast. So Adrien's like, so while Priyanka's talking, she was like, and I'm gonna warn you, don't be nasty. And then so Adrien's like, I'm not obligated to answer to anyone, and you will not threaten me. So Priyanka's like, let me just warn you. Let me just warn you. What do you? So Adrienne's like, what are you warning me about, Pri? What are you warning me about, Pri? So then it just goes so south. Priyanka's like, you have demons. And it's sad because you are a pretty girl, and, you know, gets in her face saying, do something, Adrienne. Do something, Adrienne. Pop off. Pop off. Like, it turned from sorority sisters to bad girls club, like, in a few seconds. And I was just like, wait. I'm trying to hold on to my seat. Like, what's going on here? This is moving too fast for me. So basically, they going off. Priyanka again, pop off. And then she walks away. So when she walks away, Adrienne comes back again and was like, you know, when you're ready to discuss this like a woman and all this other stuff. So again, Priyanka ain't turned down for what? She's just like, you know what? Pop off, do something. Adrienne still in her face. I'm like, dang, Priyanka, like, calm down. Like, for real, calm down. So anyway, eventually Lydia takes Priyanka and they walk off and they go somewhere else, and then the rest of everyone else stays and enjoys the party. So after all of that, they have an additional episode where all the young ladies who are on Sorority Sisters get to say the reason why they've chosen to do the show, because there's been so much backlash behind this show from the sororities, you know, and it's just like they get a chance to voice why they chose to do it. So a lot of the young ladies were like either business opportunity, either, you know, fame opportunity. So basically, you know, their answers were, you know, to benefit myself. Like, that's the reason why people take a job. Like in all actuality, reality TV show is a job. It's not like you're trying to do it to better the world or better the human race. You're doing it because it's a job. So, you know, I just read something on the internet about how the two AKAs, April and I think her name is Melinda, I don't know. But the two AKAs have been suspended from the AKA from Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated until 2016. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with the fact because they've taken this, you know, because they're doing this reality show, or, you know, I don't know why they've been suspended, but I really don't care either. So, you know, it's an interesting show. It's something to watch. It's a reality TV show. It's not like I watch it to become a better person. I watch it because it's entertaining. So if you have any thoughts about what you feel about Sorority Sisters, leave them in the comment below. Until next time, this is Tanisha giving you hugs from afar.